Hi guys, welcome to Not Just Photography, our first official episode. My name is Ashley Jacqueline and I am a fashion and editorial photographer, but I also love to do composite photography.
I'm Steven. I go by SSD Photos on Instagram and I'm a portrait photographer here in Jersey City.
Hey guys, my name is Anthony Steverson. I go by A. Steverson on IG. I do a little bit of everything from engagements to cosplay, photography, and video as well.
What's the deal, everybody? I'm Simon Khalil. Instagram handle is Simon_K_photo. I handle all different genres of photography, just weddings, portraits, everything from head to toe.
All right, so we're gonna basically just ask each other what got us into photography. I guess I'll go first. So when I was younger, my mother actually bought her own camera and I wanted to copy my mother. So I stole her camera one day and I just started taking photos of everything.
This is documented, you know, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
she knows.
Okay.
When she wondered why her film was like done already, she was like, where are all these photos from?
Just zero.
And then she printed them out and she realized it was like photos of my like teeny tiny babies and like of hair and like fingers, and she was like, okay. And I just basically wanted to do what she was doing, and then she was like, no, you gotta go to college first. So obviously I went to college. I got my first camera my freshman year of college.
Nice.
My fiance and my mom split it, so that was pretty fun. And I was taking photos of my best friends at the time, anything I could actually. But I started out on composite photography back then, and Instagram around 2012 was like starting out, so
You started early.
yeah, so I was doing composites. I was basically making photos that were like from my dreams, and I was actually really known in the composite world in 2012. And then people just started saying it wasn't real photography, so I kind of got deflated, and then my mental illness got worse, so I had to focus on college and my mental health, so photography kind of took a back burner. And then when I graduated, I was depressed, and I was like, what the hell am I gonna do in my life? I was literally on the floor one December, it was like 3 a.m., and I was just like bawling my eyes out, and I was like, what the hell am I gonna do in my life? And I decided that I was gonna take photos of my outfits. And I'm not a great fashionista or whatever, but it got me motivated to get out of the bed and do something with my life. So that's when I started to kind of sway into like wanting to take photos of the people that I love. And that's how it started, basically. I went back into it. It just happened, you know? I didn't think I was going to be there. And I'm happy that I did it.
Awesome. Real quick, you started with what brand camera?
Kodak.
Kodak.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Well, my mom had a Minolta, but she bought me a Kodak because it was an expensive Minolta, and she didn't want me to mess it up. So I had a point and shoot Kodak. I don't know the brand, the name of it, but I would bring it everywhere with me, especially because we went on a lot of vacations, and my mom's ex-boyfriend at the time, he documented everything of our life, so I wanted to do the same thing as a kid, so it was Kodak. And then my first camera, official one, was a Canon.
Okay.
So I was a T1i user, and
T1i.
it was my baby, and I loved it so freaking much. And then I got the 24-70, I think it was, or the 70-200, and I felt like a fucking boss. I was like,
I don't blame you. 70-200.
yeah.
that's my gym right there.
Delicious.
That's your dream lens right there. That's your wide angle.
My dream lens.
That's your wide angle.
Seriously, no. My dream lens would be like a 200, like f1.4.
You were saying that.
It's like $14,000.
Facts.
So you guys want me to go next? I'll go next, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I didn't even actually want to get into photography. Basically, I started off back in MySpace doing graphic design with Photoshop. back when making layouts and
HTML,
everything was
like
like,
coding.
yeah. So back when
shit.
MySpace was popping with the layouts and everything, I actually started making money by selling the layouts.
Okay.
From there, I got into high school.
Right ball.
Right?
Think about it.
I'm like thinking too, like, wait a minute.
I got into high school, and what really intrigued me was that I could use Photoshop for free over there, and the only way to do that was to join journalism. I didn't want to do photography or any part of journalism. I just wanted to use Photoshop for free. So I found my ways around just getting Photoshop for free, crack versions, YouTube, and this and that, until one day, I think it was later down the line after I had my daughter. During a Black Friday sale, I bought my first Nikon, the D3300, and no intentions to make money off of photography. It was just, get better quality pictures of my daughter, record memories of her, birthdays, parties, etc.
Right.
One thing led to another. People started asking me to shoot, like, oh, you have a nice camera, can we shoot this, and that? And, from there I started watching Manny Ortiz. He got me into the Sony brand, and, pretty much it just went off from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you remember what store for Black Friday you went to?
Oh, Best Buy.
That's
Best Buy actually right around the corner.
Oh, the one over there?
Yeah.
What time did you wake up? Did you go to sleep at all?
Did you
No,
not go to
actually-
sleep at all?
No, we didn't go
Back
to sleep.
then,
We didn't go.
yeah, it was
I
like-
didn't go to sleep
Alright.
at all. And I
Yeah.
bought the color that I didn't want. I bought it in red.
Ooh.
I remember
And
those
then-
colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought it in
I
red.
got
And then I'm like, you know what? I don't like the red. And I went back like the following week and returned it for the black one. But I
Okay.
still managed to keep the
Yeah.
deal and everything. So.
I remember those colors. I was into photography. I remember
Oh my
that.
god! And the lens.
They were terrible.
What did I have?
Yeah.
I forgot what lens it was.
It was
I think
probably a kit.
it was a kit. It was a
Like
50.
25.
No, it was a 50 to what?
No.
Nah, kit lenses are usually
Oh,
like
24
18 to like 50 or something like that.
I think it was 18 to
Yeah.
50. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
And
1
then-
to 100.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Good.
it was something all the way to
Covers
200.
everything.
Whatever lens it was, it went up to 200, and that's how I would achieve my bokeh. Was because I would zoom all the way out to 200, and I'm like, all right, I gotta shoot all the way back here so I can get the creamy background.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
whatever kit lens it was, that's what I started with, and then it's like from there it just went on.
That's what's up.
And then like later on down the line, it's like $8,000 deep in equipment.
Yeah.
I
Relatable.
wish it was only.
I mean, considering that this is only a hobby for me, and I don't do this full time, I think that's still a lot of money for a hobby.
Not full time yet.
Not full time yet.
At this podcast, you never know. Episode 2 might be different. So for me, I guess I'll go back to where I was going to college, right? And I went to college, TC&J for pharmaceutical. I had no intentions to even do like any type of arts, right? I did my college freshman year. I started a month before freshman semester, and I met one of my professors. It was like, I think it was biology or anatomy. It was one of those. And he was like, can't wait to have you in class. It's fall, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait. He was like, yo, no partying. Like, you're going to be studying 24/7. Like, you're going to be in this lab,
Nah.
I left that laboratory and I never looked back. Like, I was like,
He switched
what?
majors right there.
So I went back to my dorm, and my roommate, Brian Toms, he was doing Photoshop. And back in my high school, we didn't have like Photoshop or like art programs.
Right.
So I was like, yo, bro, what's that? He was like, yo, it's Photoshop. And I was like, huh? And I didn't pay no mind. I was like, what can you do with this? He was like, telling me all the stuff. So he was like, oh man, it's called IMM. That was a major. It was interactive multimedia. So
Okay.
it encompassed everything. So it was just like, whatever you're interested in, you could take that path. It was like video, editing, all that stuff, photography, nature photography. So I changed my major from pharmaceutical to graphic design to IMM. And then I started doing that. I started doing stuff for campus, started doing like organizations, fraternities, stuff for like orchestras, like different flyers, logos, stuff like that. So then I started taking pictures on my smartphone. People were like, yo, what camera are you using? And I was like, yo, the Galaxy S5.
Oh my
like,
God.
like, yo, the picture's so dope, blah, blah, blah. Like, you ever thought about like doing, before that, I was modeling.
Ooh.
So I used to,
Okay.
so I went from interactive multimedia, then I started doing like modeling. So I was in front of the camera. And so I didn't want to be behind the camera. I thought I had this future, the model, blah, blah. I did fashion shows on campus. I did fashion shows off of campus. So I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be a full-time model, blah, 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 bing. So when I stopped modeling, I was like, dang, I kind of missed that whole production, that whole like, you know, like the setups and the lights and all that stuff like that. And meeting new people and networking, which is a great way to network besides going to like parties and stuff like that. So people are like, yo, and you already do graphic design, you already do stuff for like New York City lounges, for these hip hop artists, you're doing all this stuff, but you have no camera. Like you're an art guy, like you have no camera. I was like, nah, it costs too much money. So my boy Jonathan Melendez, he did stuff for Don Omar, the reggaeton artist. He was traveling around the world with Don Omar. He was just taking pictures. I'm like, yo, that's a good lifestyle right there. Like every day he's on a different island, he's in a different arena, he's like shooting different reggaeton artists. It was insane. So I hit him up, I'm like, bro, what do I need to get into photography? I will send him like those basic Amazon kits. Like it came with everything, right? It came with like UV filters, tripod, memory cards. It came with like a couch. Like it was like all this stuff. I was like, bro, can I get this? He was like, bro, no. I was like, but it's only $500 and it includes everything. He's like, bro, you're gonna replace everything down the line. And I couldn't understand the concept of glass, right? So I was like, this might not be for me. So he was like, yo, come to the shoot with me. So we shot my friend on this model, and we went to her house, we shot her and stuff like that, and I saw the equipment, I saw what he was doing, the enjoyment he had, and then I was like, yo, I could do this. And then ever since then, I got, my first camera was a Nikon, and then it was like a Nikon, I forgot what it was. It was something, it wasn't like the 850 or anything like that. It wasn't like anything good. It was like $450. So I started off with that, and then I hopped into Sony, and then the rest is history.
Sony gang.
That's it. That's it.
Sony. Well, mine's not as interesting as yours modeling.
It could be. It could be.
A little bit.
You can say it.
Yeah, like this popping into
I used to model, guys.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you're fun.
I forget, right?
It was such a short like snippet of my timeline, you know.
I started actually 2011 bought my first camera. I'm sorry, 2010 I bought my first camera to actually propose to Diana.
Nice.
Right? So I wanted pictures.
That's his wife, by the way.
Yeah, that's my his wifey. To propose to her. I wanted pictures of it, but I didn't want anybody I knew there, which was very awkward because I literally just bought a camera.
You could have hit us up.
You know. you apparently were modeling.
Well, I been in front of the camera and behind too. So.
Wait, in 2010, I was what? A sophomore in college?
Yeah. So 2010, 2011, so around that time I was ready to propose. Bought my camera, proposed, literally handed the camera. I'm like, yo, it's on automatic. Just keep your finger on the trigger. I still do that. Keep your finger on the trigger. Dude, motherfucker nailed it, bro.
Nice.
Who's this? Nailed it. Some random dude.
Random guy?
Some
You
random
could give him a
dude.
shout out right now.
Yo,
Random
thanks,
guy.
random dude.
He owes you a free photo shoot.
Yeah, I got you. But from there, I proposed, and I just started fucking around with my camera. Strictly landscapes. I had the Canon
T6.
T2i. I think the T2i. I think it was Canon T2i. It was like $650. Came with two
Kit lenses.
Yeah.
Yo,
The camera bag and everything.
yeah, camera
Everything.
bag. Came with
Yes.
the little
Yup.
squeegee and shit. It came with everything, bro. She was great. Started doing landscape photography heavy. I went into landscape photography heavy to the point where I started teaching long exposure photography, and then slowly started getting into. One of my boys actually was like, yo, like I have a wedding outside, this is your fucking thing, come shoot, be the third shooter, come take whatever shot you want, like I'm not paying you, just
build a portfolio.
just tag along. I was like, you're not paying me. At first I was like,
Paying
fuck.
you in food though, right?
But yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, fuck, you're not paying me. I'm like, is it even worth it? Do I even want to do this?
Damn, already
Yo,
had
I
an
did.
email. Damn, what year is this?
I did.
Shoot.
Yo, I did fucking 3-4 weddings in a row with my boy, bro. For free. Just to learn how the fucking day goes.
Facts.
It's crazy. And then from there, to be honest, like, I fucking loved it. I love the responsibility. For some reason, like I handle pressure extremely well.
Like,
That's
yeah.
my biggest fear is that
like,
pressure.
yo, like
Wedding-
pressure.
Wedding day
yo.
pressure is different.
Yo, but I feel like I deal with people very well, like soothing people and calming them down. Like that's just my thing. Like I know how to fucking I think I know how to calm. My wife doesn't say that, guys.
Not me. If the bride's nervous, I'm nervous. I'm even more nervous. Don't lie to me.
Yo, I'm like this all the time, bro.
I wish.
Just-
Can't relate.
just chill.
That's why I stay with the slow-paced portraits, because it's like I prefer that. Like there's no pressure to it. It's like I have all the time in the world just to get the right angle, the right exposure,
Yeah,
everything. I can nail everything perfect.
You know what? Like
Nah, weddings, you're dual wielding, yo. Like,
dual wielding, bro. Yo, and
Matrix.
Going in there.
the biggest thing in weddings that I get all the time is like, yo, how the fuck do you change settings so quickly
From indoor to outdoor.
indoor to
But you're
outdoor,
supposed
and
to
vice
know.
versa?
It's auto, right? That's what we all do, right? We all do auto.
I
so-
wish.
No, but
I'm
wouldn't
sure
it be
that
ideal
is-
to do like shutter priority or aperture
Aperture
priority at that
priority.
point? Like now you only got to worry
At that
about
point, I
you
mean,
worry about one setting versus. I
You
mean,
can.
The problem is like you also have to like if I have lights set up in the church, right? I'm shooting on manual. I'm not fucking switching to another priority and then still adjusting settings.
Well, your flashes are you're shooting the manual or
Yeah,
TTL?
I walk it no manual. I walk out, I turn it off.
Now, would it solve your issue if you were shooting TTL and then doing like a shutter priority or something?
Well, I never found that TTL works well with like.
It'll
big church.
either overexpose or underexpose a bit, right? That's what it's one or the
That
other.
depends how big church is. Depends. Like
Those ceilings be
yeah,
high.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So
And then there's, like,
manual,
no
I
point
just
in
But
learned.
light.
sometimes they're like darker colors, so
Yeah.
like
And are you always doing like off-camera flash, or is it like you put the speed light mounted on?
I usually use the speed light at that particular point, especially in the church, as my master.
Didn't you have some churches that were like no
flash.
at all?
No, I never had that
No.
problem.
Really? Because I'd be hearing
Yeah,
that
I've seen a
story.
few. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had that problem.
Like I did my niece's communion one time. They're like, no flash.
No shit.
Must be Catholic, right?
Yeah. I think it was Catholic.
Yeah.
dang.
But from there, like I just started getting into weddings and portraits, and that's been sort of my full time deal. And honestly, I didn't fucking touch Photoshop till like 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's
this
a
is
fact.
I've been-
Like,
That's
yo,
a
that's,
fact.
yo, I
That's a fact.
straight up hit this dude up when I first met him. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
how the fuck do I fix this? Like
Wow.
I knew Lightroom
I
like
used
the
to
back
tell
of
him.
my hand.
He was trying to do everything on Lightroom.
Oh no.
Like,
He's like, hold on, let me remove this blemish.
Lightroom and the blend.
He
Oh
used to have
god.
like those
Yo,
dots, like when you do
yo,
like
but,
adjustments in Lightroom, the little dots
Dots, yeah.
for like where you can control your
My-
adjustments. Whole bunch.
Oh
yes,
my god.
I used to do the same thing though.
Over like
Wait,
50
bro.
dots all over the face.
Yo,
Can't
but
see the picture
That's,
anymore.
that's like me when I
Like,
stack all my layers on
that's it.
Photoshop.
Yep. So it's like, yo, I started learning Photoshop, and then like shit went from here to here.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that.
That's
So
awesome.
it was dope. It was dope. I found some interesting shit. I'm just not a I can't composite like this.
You can't do it
this
until you
thing.
actually do it.
No, I mean
you
I
have
do
to
it.
try.
I do it. I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah, you do need a lot of patience. There's a lot of trial and error.
Yo,
Yes.
like,
Sure.
yo, I was fucking around with the girls one time. I have 3 kids, and I did that Minion shoot.
Oh yeah,
Remember the Minion
yeah,
picture?
Yeah, it was cute.
Yo, it was cute,
Yeah.
but that shit took so long to fucking edit.
How'd you crop
Jacqueline.
So right, I would have done that in 10 minutes.
Yo, she would have put it in FFA. Yo, she probably would have won.
Yeah, right. Yo, these
Grand prize.
FFAs are rigged.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to talk about
They're
these.
not rigged. They're not rigged.
Yeah.
These FFAs are rigged. Let me
They're
tell
not
you.
rigged. I mean, we
Whatever.
did one for ourselves, like,
Yeah, and it was shitty too.
but it
okay?
wasn't rigged.
I'm joking. I don't know. I have my own opinions on those.
Yeah, it's you know what, like I
It's
listen,
rigged.
I
It's rigged, but
appreciate-
she won like an Explorer 1200.
No, that wasn't
Oh,
an
yeah.
FFA. That was my
That was
own
like
photo.
Adorama.
Oh,
It was like stay at home project.
Yes, it was
right?
Adorama.
You still won something.
Okay, with my own photo.
Didn't you win an FFA though?
Yeah, but it was
Like,
like
second place,
No,
first place.
no.
You submitted a foot photo.
Alright,
How'd you know?
but yeah, it's
Be careful with the bottle.
it's crazy, man. Like you just like you learn some shit like Photoshop. It's fucking.
It's
That
another
shit is great.
language.
No, it's great. And then you know what? But I know where my shit is. Like I'm staying in this lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going outside and become a digital creator or whatever the fuck that may mean. And like really going into it like that, nah, that shit's
But
not
that's
for
hard
me.
because you're doing weddings. So weddings,
You don't
I
have
feel
the time
like
for that.
exactly, and like you have to be.
You know what?
You can't do composites for 1,000 images.
I mean, I could.
Exactly,
Right.
right? Like I remember I had one person, they wanted me to edit like 50 photos to make them look skinnier, and I'm like,
No.
That's a lot.
Yeah, see,
One's
there's
a
shit-
lot.
To be
What?
honest, like at
One's
that
a lot.
point, there's some shit I just won't do.
yeah,
Like,
I
I
didn't
don't-
do it because
yeah.
it's ridiculous. I'm
That's
not
what-
gonna make you look skinny because
Yeah.
this is your natural body.
You
Like,
include that in the contract, like no manipulation whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like I'm
yeah.
not manipulating your fucking like arm and like to make your
Mhm.
fucking
but
chin
did you
look.
have brides that were like, oh, I look fat at this angle and stuff like that?
I had it. and
I usually
I'm
tell you
like,
that before you even take the picture.
Well,
Like,
here's the thing, like there's a couple of things to prepare, right? Like, so for example, biggest thing is tattoos, right? So tattoos, like have your makeup artist covered up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not my issue. Like,
Yeah.
there's times where I had in post, yo, can you get rid of that tattoo for me? And it happens to be a big
Back
a
tattoo.
fucking dragon that comes from her back to the front. I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Put a new back on her.
Right. So like, yo, there's just some shit like, yo, I don't do certain things. Like I won't do it.
I feel like I used to back then at least, I would get a lot of insecure people. And
Yeah.
it's like they expected me to make like something that wasn't there.
Right.
And they were like, oh, make sure you get my good side. And it's just like, I don't really understand that, like your good side, especially when they're insecure. It's like, there's not really a good
For
side.
everyone's like that. Even before we started filming this podcast, we had to switch seats.
Oh, yeah.
because the angles and
This
you know what I'm
one
saying,
here.
look distorted.
Yo,
So like even
I look
photographers
so
like that.
big, bro.
Well, that's why I stick to the 50.
Oh, boy.
Why do you think I only
So-
shoot the 50?
Oh shit.
So like happens to everybody, not even like just like the subject you shoot.
That's why no one takes my photos except myself or my fiance, because I've had mad photographers be like, oh, I want to shoot you. So I'm thinking like, you know, we're doing a collaboration. We're going to
Yeah.
be shooting a model. And then they're like, no, you. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, I'm not a model. No, thank you. And they're like, what do you mean? I've seen your Instagram. I'm like, no.
Was this
no.
what shoot?
I've seen your feet.
No.
That's for episode 2. That's for episode 2.
Yeah, stay tuned for that one.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but you know what? Like it's crazy, like the different experiences, right? But like, why? And I have a question for you, Stephen. Like, why do you only like
Shoot what?
shoot like detailed shots?
There's a few reasons why. One of the reasons is because of the people that I learned from.
Okay.
Like Abel, Suhail, and all of them. Like I learned to work on specific details, and it's like that intrigued me. That really caught my eye, and that style. And
Okay.
also the second thing, and it's sad to say, one of my weak points is posing. So to minimize the amount of posing, shoot closer up.
Okay.
Less work that I have to do with posing the model, especially if they don't know what they're doing and then I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Let me just get close up, fill the
Pictures,
frame,
bro.
fill the frame as much as I
know.
can. It's like, all right, one hand here and one hand here, and it's like, let's go.
But that's why I tell you just have to do it. You have to make the mistakes, you know, because if you don't
and
do
I've
it.
and I've done them.
You should do one shoot, leave the 50 at home, and
Yes.
just bring this wide angle. That's it.
Yeah. Oh no, not that wide.
and just-
Not that
and
You'll
just-
wide.
see me
Yo,
right here,
like-
still like,
Yo, you
True.
know what?
Facts,
You know
facts.
what? He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
I used to fucking shoot.
But that's
with-
why I bought the 35.
I used
Oh,
to
you did?
shoot with my
I had
24.
when I bought my Sigma 35. That's why I did it, to try to break me out of shooting with the 85.
But you sold it, didn't you?
And I did sell it, yeah.
Yo, I used to bring the 24 to 70 and 70 to 200
Mhm.
to every single shoot,
Yep.
right? And I was like, you know what?
That's it.
Like, fuck that. Yo, portrait shoots, I strictly bring the 35, and I bring the 35 and 85. You won't see
Yeah,
a
those
zoom
are
lens in my bag because, yo, that shit, like, it gets you're too comfortable. You know what I mean? Like get out of the comfort zone and, like, really crank it into that, like.
What do you mean? But what do you mean in the comfort zone with a zoom lens?
So, with the comfort zone, I mean.
Because you have the variety to shoot wide or.
No, you
photo.
become a little bit more creative with your shot when you don't have the option to zoom.
You gotta move
all
with
right,
it.
all
That's
right.
what I'm
saying.
Yeah, no, I get
You
you.
see what I'm saying?
Like
so
just get like a 24 prime, and
Right.
then you actually gotta like move
Move
around.
it.
and
right,
stuff
when you
like
actually
that.
gotta move around,
I
it
think
actually
that the
gives you
only
different
way.
perspectives.
I think that the only way that I'll be creative with a wide angle lens is like, all right, let me just create some sort of distortion.
No. Editorial.
It's like here, point your finger
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
or
No,
like put your
editorial's
foot this
wide.
way.
I shoot when I do editorial. I'm always out either my 24, my 25 to 78, or my 35, and I'm like literally on the floor in the middle of New York
Mhm.
City, because they love those angles. And also, if you notice editorials, it's always like those heavy, hard angles when you're doing it. They don't want that soft stuff. They want that like hard, intense light, and then the like weird, you know, the weird poses where like the photographer's literally on the floor about to get hit by a car kind of pose.
Right.
So it's like you have to do that, because if you don't, then it's just, you know, boring. That's why I love to like move around. If you notice, like every time I'm shooting, I don't really look at people in their eyes, because I'm like focusing. So I can't look at people in their eyes when I'm taking photos and talking to them, because I'm thinking of other photo shoots.
It's like some Jedi mind tricks. Like
I don't even really know what you said.
She was like,
You know what else?
Go into their minds.
You know what else slows me down too, and I think it's I'm focused on way too many things. Specifically, like
Story of my life.
That's why I don't look at them in the eyes.
I gotta worry about the composition. I gotta worry about the lighting, then the expression, and then if they're posing right, and then you gotta do the minor adjustments. And then if they're not bringing their A game, it's like, all right, I gotta worry about my lighting. I gotta worry about everything behind the camera. And you're not even bringing your A game to the to the scene.
But
it's
why focus on perfect? You know what I mean?
I'm not saying perfect,
but you're trying to get it as close as possible.
As close as possible,
right?
Perfect.
Right, but why comfortable?
Any means necessary.
Right, but like I learned like over like the most uncomfortable situations I was in, like I learned a shit ton of stuff from.
Okay.
Like, period. So like whether it came to like I fucked up this photo. Like I severely fucked up this photo. One flash went off, one didn't. This side's completely overexposed, this side's completely underexposed. So that next time I just fucking prepare myself. Right? So like that's how I look at it. I don't know, like, obviously like coming up, like that shit I learned over the years shooting. That's not like something that came up today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like the first time I picked up the camera.
Wasn't watching one YouTube video.
Hey, I might have been watching, Peter McKinnon or some shit. Shout you out, bro.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, this one time I did this wedding, right? And I never had mounted a speed light on top of my camera.
Wait, what wedding?
My friend's wedding.
What was this, bro?
No, it was a small.
Right?
I'll see these photos.
It
On the IG, let's see.
No, actually, I'll put out. I think I have it on my Pixie set somewhere. But it
You
was
still have it?
Yeah, I think I do. It was a few years, like maybe like 2 years back.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see
It was a small courthouse wedding. So my boy paid me for the job or whatever. It was like 3 hours, and I had never mounted a speed light onto my camera. So I'm like, I don't know how to use TTL. I don't know how to use manual on this. So it's like for the first kiss, I'm like, I don't want to overexpose this shot. I don't want this shit to go wrong. I'm like, I'm not even shooting flash. I fucking took the flash off and I just did burst mode until I got it.
Let's get that ISO up to
I was like,
1,000.
I was like, I'm not missing this shot.
Sick.
Might be grainy, but it looks good.
No.
That's part of the aesthetic.
Oh, it's
Luckily-
noise reduction.
No, you said you wanted vintage, right? You wanted cinematic. There you go.
Yeah. No,
But it worked, and I'm like, but that was like, I don't know. I need to kind of overcome that fear, like you said. You overexposed on one side, underexposed on the other side. It's like, damn, I should have just taken a shot with the flashlight.
But I'm the same way as you,
But
though.
like you just it all happens to everybody. Like I don't know a fucking photographer that hasn't fucked up one way or another. But like you learned from that, and that's it. Like it's that simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna answer some questions on Instagram, and this one is from Phoebe Gibby on
From my story.
From his story. So he's asking the Instagram photo community pros and the cons, which I think is a really good question to start off
The
with.
the Instagram.
Yeah, the Instagram community,
like
the
the
photography
community.
community.
I'm assuming that's what
cons.
he meant, yeah.
Yeah.
Good question, by the way.
That is a good
Yeah,
question.
seriously.
Well, we'll start off with the wedding / everything else photographer.
Nah, I mean,
Like, how does the community like?
Communicate through wedding photography.
Yeah.
Because you don't really see much of that.
Right.
it really depends what you do. I mean,
Are there any ever wedding meets?
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, let's.
Yeah, I mean,
like a Jason Lanier.
there are like models that actually.
Oh, they do stylized shoots.
Oh yeah, LA studios.
They
makeup
not even
studios.
studios, actual venues. They'll hire a model, buy a wedding dress,
Stylized
fit her,
shoots.
Yeah.
and they will put them in there and
For magazines
shoot it,
and
yeah,
stuff.
for
Yeah.
magazines and stuff.
And
so
then you work with
You know who
small
does that?
businesses, right? Like the
Amber.
flowers and stuff.
right, but I mean,
That model Amber Kuval, I believe believe that's how I'm pronouncing. And Baluna on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she probably does that.
She's done that.
She probably does
Beautiful work.
Yeah. But the pros and cons of the Instagram community, they're specifically asking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I mean, like, there's. It depends, I guess, who you're.
It depends on how deep you want to go.
Right. So.
I like going deep.
So that's another episode. So
Episode 3, OnlyFans.
Episode
Oh
69.
God.
So it really depends. Like, what do you? So I'm not the type of person that dives in to that extent to people's feeds. Like I enjoy
catch
the
them
word. Yeah, I would be like, yo, did you see this? I'm like,
So
no.
you're saying that you don't like really benefit out of it too much?
No. What I'm saying is like there are pros to it. There's more cons to it. What I mean by that is like there's so much negative shit that I see on there, right? Which is fine because everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But like I like looking at things from a high view and really grasping my own concept from there. That's what I'm saying.
Because have you guys done a lot of like photo meetups?
Yes, I have.
You have, with
I
dope
have.
ports and stuff like that.
I've done even before dope
Before?
ports though. I did Pursuit of Portrait. They're probably my favorite.
Because I feel like me and you are the only ones that probably done the most.
The most, yeah.
So like, it's a difference between having an online community and then like the physical, right? When you actually
Yeah.
meet people and you actually like, you could probably feel like, yeah, you're in a community online, but you also could feel isolated at the same time. Especially when there's meetups, right? 'Cause you're like,
Yeah.
yo, why am I
Why
not
didn't they
there?
invite me?
Yeah, why
Yeah.
did the invite? So you could be
Yeah.
like in all these groups and group chats, but then you go on the IG stories or IG lives and people are like, oh, model meetup, da da da, and like
yeah.
Brooklyn Bridge. So it's like,
And they know you live in Brooklyn, but they didn't invite you.
facts.
Word.
Like,
Yeah.
you're at the bridge
But I don't
already.
get that.
Yeah, like, yo, guys, I'm right here.
I don't
Right.
get that.
I've
I don't
never
get that.
experienced
Like,
that.
So-
like everybody's like for example, like in life you have your group of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, if one of my personal friends didn't invite me somewhere, you see what I'm saying? Like this,
guess
I
it's
think this is
different.
different.
Because you're a
Where,
little
like-
older though too, right?
Yeah.
But also, he doesn't care for acceptance.
That's it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's not a bad thing.
I think I'm more
'Cause, like-
I think I'm more hungry like that though, like in terms of acceptance, because I look up to a lot of these photographers and especially the ones that I learned from.
Yeah, but there's
And-
two things there. There's you're looking for acceptance and looking up to them are two different things, right? So like, that's
But even-
FOMO,
but
right?
even- but
Fear of
even-
it, right?
But sometimes,
Right.
even the people you look up to, you're like, are they gonna respond to me? Are they gonna reply? Did they read my message?
Oh, I know, no, I'm not that much. I'm
You know what I'm
sorry.
saying?
Yeah.
Because like, you're not gonna hit up your number one photographer and then don't check the conversation if you read it or she read it. You know, there's always some type of percentage of acceptance there, even if you don't realize it. You know,
I don't
you're
know.
not hitting up random like good photographers and you're just like, oh, they get back to me, get back to me.
Yeah,
If,
no, you're
if
right.
we pass by, you're gonna feel some type of way.
Right.
Yeah, but really?
Okay, yes and no. I think it's a yes and no thing because
Because
know.
it gets very
I
like
don't know.
treacherous.
Yo,
like,
if I message somebody like, yo,
Yeah.
you want like,
But-
and
but
they don't
see-
answer me, like,
you gotta understand they have a life.
okay, like, yo, like,
but Simon's like the 0.1%.
Oh.
I don't give a fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I
But
don't
you
care.
know what I
Like,
you know what I
don't
do like
care.
you know what I like about the community is that no matter what genre of photography you're shooting, you're always welcome. Like you always feel welcomed,
Yeah.
And that's a pro.
That's a pro.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, but
no matter what. The only time you
100%.
get bashed is if you're like literally a creep. Yeah,
Facts.
you're a creep when you get
Oh,
called
yeah,
out for something like
photography
that.
Creeps, yo.
yo, somebody.
Or if you just you're completely just copying someone else's work and at least don't even give credit.
And like imitation, they always say is the best form of flattery, but like if you're copying and it's apparent.
When your whole
Yeah.
feed's imitation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I,
Right.
that's what I feel like I've been seeing
That's
a lot of though.
That's a whole thing. That's a
Right,
whole
but
different
that's
thing.
something
like,
that's starting to mold as of like this quarantine, and I
Yeah.
notice is that like now it's like everybody has this one specific style, right? People are afraid to jump out.
oh, you know how I feel about that.
to jump out to different styles.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how you feel about
let's
that.
get on that.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about that.
No,
Let's talk about that.
let's get on that real quick. Let's get on that real quick.
Are we
because-
talking about one specific person here?
No, I don't get, no, we're not gonna call
Not
anybody out.
generalization.
Right? We're not gonna call people
We ain't in
out.
high school anymore.
Like,
It's
no,
generalization.
like, all right. So people are taking this style right to another level, right? Which is fine.
What
because,
style are you talking about?
The poor. I don't even know how to explain it.
It's
like a graphic
It's
design.
when you think about what Instagram photo looks like.
It's graphic design.
Whatever pops into your head.
Or digital art.
Right.
That's what I call it, digital art.
So you're saying a lot of people are falling into that genre of...
So what I'm saying
It's
is
a
like
stylized of digital art because everyone does some type of digital manipulation.
Yeah, but it's like to the point where it's kind of like cartoon 3D, like those that Attila movie where it's like
So it's like there's subcategories, right?
yeah.
So
Right.
like, because you're not going to take a photo and just put it up there.
Well, yeah.
So right, so like
That's shot at a camera, and only
There you
people
go.
who think that they're great.
because you
shot
do
at
have
a camera.
photographers who don't believe in like Photoshop or
I know.
only
That's
only
why
exposure
I'm
sliders.
telling you, when I started, I had
So like
those
then you have
people.
everyone else, which is everyone here at the table. We go beyond that.
So do you stylize your images or do
Yeah.
you expose your
So-
slide like he
so,
just
so
said?
everyone has a
no,
style.
no. So
And
my
doesn't that-
process is there's a fine line between digital art and photography. Right? That's what I'm saying. If I'm gonna put it generalized this way, and people may agree, people may not agree, but if fucking 75% of my image that I shot is manipulated, how is that still considered photography?
You
Or is that
you still
considered,
took the photo.
or is that considered digital art? For me, I consider
It's-
that digital art.
I think it's two separate things at that point. It's you're doing the photography aspect. You're still taking the picture. You're doing the work that a photographer does. And now you're stylizing it. Now it's your art.
So you got to think about it this way: if Photoshop was there when it first came out and invented, you don't think they would use it? It's only because what you think regular photography is because they didn't have access to those tools, right? Like the black and white photos, like
Yeah.
they had a computer. Oh yeah, they would be
Color, but they
pulling
did
up
color-
shadows.
But they
they did
do
it to
that,
their
yeah.
to their limit, right?
Yeah.
It's just
to
because
to what they were using.
And like
Right.
even
What
when
they
there
were capable of
wasn't,
doing, that's it.
and even when
That's
there
it.
wasn't color, people would paint
Mhm.
color onto the photos.
Yeah.
So then it would become
Right.
a manipulated image. you
it's
know?
like you can even go to deeper levels, like a human, the first human ever was on
What?
land compared to what a human is now. Would you want to say like a caveman wasn't human because he had limited access to the tools?
Well, technically he's an ancestor.
Well,
so-
listen, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem
You know?
with the style.
Yeah.
I have a problem with. I love digital,
Yeah.
like digital creators. That
Yeah.
shit is dope.
Yo. The amount of work that goes on
Yeah.
behind
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
like that, you have to appreciate.
I appreciate that.
the tedious work that goes behind that, dude.
That's fine, right?
Yeah.
But like,
It
If me personally
But
with my work,
there's-
I think I'm like one step right before that. I think I'm where that fine line is.
Yeah,
Because
I
I can feel myself pushing over sometimes, and it's like, all right, no, I did too much. Let me tone it down a bit. Like I find myself going there.
but
Sometimes.
you know what? But you know what? Like, if say you did go overboard with your edit, because like everybody styles their own.
I don't.
which
Call it, I
agree.
wouldn't say overboard. I think it's just overboard for me specifically.
Right, but even if you did that, right, you're still stepping out of your comfort zone. That's great.
Okay.
Right?
That's
how I look at
that's
it.
definitely a good way to look at it.
That's
too.
how I look at it. Like you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're doing something a little bit more. But when you see, as we're talking about it, we see, mad people that I followed
Yeah.
started doing the same fucking
Yeah.
And
shit
that's what I'm
to them.
saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Like people aren't thinking for themselves.
But
Yes.
why do you think people find it so
it's
attractive?
trendy. That's the
Trendy.
thing. And there's people with huge followings are feeding them what they believe is photography, what it's supposed to look like. So everybody, and I'm coming
No,
from,
I don't think necessarily. I think that's subjective though.
but
it's not-
obviously these
people
are our
aren't-
opinions. It's gonna be
I don't-
subjective. We're
I
not
don't
saying
think-
it's fact.
But I don't think that you're saying that those people with huge followings are feeding that. They're not necessarily feeding that.
Yes,
Not
they.
all.
They're putting
No,
their
no,
work.
no,
they're
no,
just
no.
putting their work
No.
out there.
No, you have to understand. When you have a
Yeah.
following, you do have
You have
you have a way to sway people. So you cannot say that people don't know what they're doing, because they absolutely do know what they're doing. When you have a high following, you have a responsibility to a point. So just like how it is with celebrities, with influencers, there's a responsibility.
So now you're saying-
hold
so
on,
are
here's
you-
where
are
I'm
you-
gonna agree and disagree with her statement, right? They sell presets on how to edit that way.
Correct.
but
Right?
those presets do not.
That's
get
a-
you
They don't
to that
get
level.
Yeah,
they
because
don't
you
get
have
it
to
to you.
practice it.
They
If
don't
you
get
take a
it.
photo
They don't
dark
get you
and you
there.
apply,
yeah.
California sun to where you're not going to get
right.
a model in
Yeah.
a bikini on the beach with a palm tree,
They don't.
right?
They don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
but they're giving you the
Yeah.
tools to be able
Yeah.
to
To
be able to
that
do it,
way,
yeah.
right? Which is fine.
Yeah.
That's why I agree and disagree with her statement.
Yeah.
That's fine. But like, those particular people that start off with the high following, that's their style.
Well-
That's how they've been styling. That's how they've been styling
Mm.
photographs. Some of them, since I've been following a couple of years
also-
now.
But that doesn't always mean that all their work is like that, because
Right.
what they post or what some people post on Instagram is just their art.
Yeah.
Now what they do for clients is completely different.
Well, the thing is, you guys are
and just
forgetting-
because they don't show that doesn't mean that
Yeah.
sometimes they're, some people
Right.
think that they're stuck there.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that.
Well, the photographers like on social media that have a business, actual brand that sell tutorials, presets, stuff like that. It's so hard
To
to
step
change your
out,
style the next morning. It's almost like even like I go into like video games, right? Like
Cool.
streamers, like people on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
But why do you think it's hard though?
Because you will
people-
lose your followers. So
Yeah.
like there was like a streamer on Twitch on YouTube. He would explain himself. He plays the same game over and over, and he had a video. And he said, "You guys think I really want to play this game every single day?" He's like, "Yo, I have a kid to feed. I have a wife. I have a home." He's like, "If I play a different game and I lose subscribers," he's like,
I'm
my brand is done.
Like those people followed him just for that.
Just for
thing.
that.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
they go to you for that. He's
Because
like-
I'm the same way when I have YouTube videos,
Yeah.
right? I follow someone for a
It's a
specific
formula.
style.
It's-
I don't want
yeah.
it. I don't want to see anything else, right?
Yeah.
I want to see what their,
Right.
I
Yeah.
first saw from them that
Yeah.
made me attracted to their content.
Yeah, it's
But-
it's a channel. It's like if
Yeah.
that network started showing completely different shows, if Netflix did like something completely different and just took down every piece of content they had and did something different, people would be bashing Netflix. Netflix stocks will go down, stuff like that. They lose money. It's like once you kind of build a business off of that look, that visual, and that content, it's like you can't stray away.
Why do you think with TikTok,
I don't
if you get
think
popular,
necessarily. I don't
you
think
have
you,
to
I don't.
see
I
people.
don't you can't say can't because you're
Oh,
gonna
you
have,
can.
You
No,
can, but
but
there will
be,
be
you're gonna have-
be
consequences.
prepared for your bank account to look different
It will
in
be
the next month.
consequences.
But you're not making money off
Exactly.
of Instagram.
You'd be surprised. People do.
I mean, yeah, you have people going to your website and buying tutorials and stuff like that, stuff of that sort. But you're not
Well,
necessarily getting
one-on-ones.
paid off of Instagram.
One-on-ones.
But you're not getting paid from
Instagram's
Instagram.
not paying you, but that platform. If there was no Instagram, none of this would be a conversation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Cause you,
Right.
if you try this on Facebook, you're not getting that
Heck
same engagement
no,
on
you're
Facebook.
gonna get them
You
grandmas.
try this on
and,
like, yeah, like it's.
and they're not gonna want none of that.
Some people
the
say
grandmas got green too.
I know,
No
I
matter.
know.
I'm trying to get that
Exactly
PS5.
though, right?
In fact, but like just think about using the Facebook interface, what Instagram
Right.
does
Mm-hmm.
with like lives and this and that, and trying to like sell people
See, it's
stuff.
hard because I get more business.
On
I get more
Facebook,
business on Facebook
Yeah.
than I do Instagram.
That's because
That's
of
'cause
the demographic.
It's more of a family oriented.
Yeah.
Right.
Platform.
So
Yeah.
like I can't, I
Yeah.
can't speak on it, but I get more
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
from Facebook.
But it makes sense.
Like I literally
Yeah.
check my analytics
Yeah.
on a weekly basis,
Yeah.
right? My traffic comes from Facebook
Yeah.
to my website.
Yeah,
But that makes
Instagram
sense.
every once in a while.
yeah.
And that's fine. But
But imagine trying to sell one-on-ones or tutorials on Facebook.
Right.
No traction.
Right. I don't know. Never tried it.
No one else has
Give
done
them
it.
an idea.
No one
Light
has seen
bulb.
it. You know what I'm saying? You could try it, but Instagram is just that platform. You know, like people say like, hey, you don't get paid by Instagram, but it's like, yo, Instagram goes down tomorrow.
No.
Yo, everyone's lives are changing.
Yeah.
Not
It's
much.
almost like Corona hitting.
Yeah.
It's like that goes down, it's a wrap. And everyone's gonna be like,
And like I
looking for the next
agree
best
with
thing.
what you were saying, how like the community, how we had like meetups and stuff, because that's what pushed me out of my comfort zone, because
Mhm.
I was terrified of meeting people
Yeah.
and going to these things, because I thought everybody would be like stuck up and
Mhm.
like, oh, look at me, and there would be like cliques already in those meetups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I found out was that everybody's just nice, and if you of course you have to put effort into it, right? Everything
Right.
is about
Mhm.
effort. You just can't pray for something good to happen to you. You got to make it happen, right?
Right.
So going to those meetups are networking events basically, and
They
they're
are.
free most of the time, networking
Meetups
events.
were clutch.
Yeah, I loved it because you get to meet different people and also, show your skills to other people.
Right.
And you're not afraid to mess up.
Exactly, because it's
Yeah.
just free. It's
And
like
there's-
And
free flowing.
It's people that you just met. It's like, who cares if I mess up? Like, I'm
Facts.
probably never gonna see them again.
Facts.
I mean,
And if you do good, then you're gonna work. I still
Then
work
it's
with
just
some
gonna help
models
you build
from
up.
my first meetup.
same.
Like, that's it.
And I know
Yeah.
a lot of people because of meetups. That's how I
Yeah.
knew people, because were barely any photographers in Jersey City, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I found you, and it was like random.
Where'd you find him at?
We
At a bodega?
He was on the corner.
we found each other. We found each
corner
other.
store?
It was Seattle. Wait, it was the Seattle smoke. They're from Seattle?
No, Texas.
Oh, Texas.
Yeah.
So it was this smoke challenge
Okay.
that 924
924
photography
yeah.
created with Sam,
Okay.
and that's how we found each other. And we're in the same freaking city.
We
Okay.
literally live like walking distance
Yeah.
to each other.
That's crazy.
And we never even knew we were here.
Yeah.
You know?
So
and we have this. We have similar shooting styles and everything.
So Instagram pro is that it brings you like-minded people,
exactly.
you know. But the con also is I think people are afraid to step out of that comfort zone and do different things.
And you know what? Like I love that people step out, right? But like I feel like people just worry about what other people think.
Human nature.
I think I can be.
Much,
who
You're
it's
an
like.
alien, we get it.
Being-
No,
being human.
like no, don't get me wrong. Like shit gets to me, right? Certain shit gets to me.
Let it out, Simon.
But like,
Let it out.
no, let's
Okay.
be real here. Shit gets to me, but
Yeah.
like, if I don't fucking know you and like you comment on that my picture sucks,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Nah,
but
you
if
know-
one of you motherfuckers said something on my photo, honestly, I'll probably take that, consider
I
it.
should leave that comment.
Right?
Nah, you know what?
Yeah.
I feel more engaged on Instagram. Like I can't do that to a random person, but like in person. But if I go on Instagram, I'll feel more engaged to doing that with anybody, and just even communicating with a random person on Instagram. Like I talk to all these people that are in LA and Florida.
Right.
Mhm.
It's like, all right, I feel comfortable enough to book a flight tomorrow and go hang out with them.
And that's fine. I'm
Facts.
saying I'm talking about the randoms.
I'll go to
Yeah.
college
I'm
tomorrow.
talking about the.
They
I'm talking
were.
about the,
I mean, they were randoms to
They
me at
were.
one point.
But you
Right.
decided to
Right.
make it not random, right?
There-
you made more of a
but there's
choice.
there's a difference between trolling,
Yeah.
right, and actually critiquing,
Yeah.
right? That's what I'm saying.
And I guess you
The
didn't
ones
get a
that
lot of
troll-
the trolling.
The ones that
No.
troll, yo,
And especially because I'm a female, so let me tell you, I get a lot of that shit in my DMs.
Oh, we
from
know.
people.
Oh, we know.
Mr.
Like,
Spider-Man.
I get a lot of people who be telling me, like, oh, does your fiance take your photos?
Wait, Jacqueline,
oh.
do you want to shout him out now? No, I can't find it.
You know,
Next
like,
segment.
like, I get a lot of males, especially thinking that my fiance is the photographer and I'm just his assistant. And it's like, I'm holding the freaking camera, yet you're going to my fiance asking him the questions. And I'm like, hello? So
Guys-
I
guys do
feel
that?
like a lot of, you know, and this is personal as a female, that we get questioned a lot on our technicality. We get
Right.
questioned a lot on the technical aspects of photography, not the creative, because women can be so creative, right? But the technical aspects, you won't see males coming to a woman asking her that stuff, right? They're gonna go to like the other people, the men, and be like, oh yeah, she doesn't know what she's doing.
yeah, that's
So
bullshit.
I realized, you know, that most of my trolls are people who think I don't know what I'm doing. And I noticed that when I tell you guys in the
Clearly she
DMs,
doesn't.
haha. So, you know, I tell you guys in the DMs and you guys are always surprised at the shit that I get.
I'm not surprised.
What-
I honestly love it. I'm like, oh shit, what happened now?
you know?
What are you sending
But
back?
it's
I'm
like,
like, I know this guy. He said that to you.
but it's like none of you guys get that the way that I do.
Right.
You know, so it's
right.
like another level that
I'm
I
actually kinda
have
jealous.
to deal with.
Yeah.
Whereas you guys don't. That's why to me there's pros, but there's also a lot of cons because as a female photographer, it's a totally different world for me than it is
Right.
for you guys.
Well, you know this? I feel like you can also use that as your strength, right? You feel as a weakness, but it's just because the male, you know, department for photography is so overcrowded. You know, like so many, like so many different names, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But use your strength. It's like
Oh well, yeah, I get women that want
That's
female
it.
photographers.
That-
No, I
that's
get
it.
that.
It's like how you're going for that Sony ambassador position, right?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Sony, what's good?
I'm trying so
Yeah.
hard, but yeah.
Sponsor her.
That's it. Or us.
Or all of us.
Now listen, we'll start with
That's
one.
awesome.
I'm cool with starting with one.
We could do two.
What is it? Kando 4.0 coming up or 3.0?
Oh my god.
It's virtual now. Right? Isn't it virtual?
It was virtual. Yeah, it was
Was
by the
virtual?
pool doing it. But honestly though, it's like I think what's also like cons about it is that like you know, sometimes like you want to be critiquing people, but then
Yeah.
you don't want to hurt people. So it's
Yeah.
like how do you like tell them like how do you help somebody out if you don't want to hurt their feelings, you know? And
Well, you tell them to take it with a grain of salt.
I I mean, yeah, but
But
you'd be
if-
surprised. I get a lot of people that are like, "Oh, you're such a bitch," right? Like you guys again won't deal with that,
Nah,
but I would.
Don't give them the criticism if they don't ask for it. I don't know, or DM
No,
them
but
about
I'm
it and
saying,
don't
but
comment
if
it on the
someone,
picture.
but I'm saying if someone does ask for it, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, if they ask for it and then
If
they feel
ask-
some type
hold
of
on,
way,
Hold on.
how,
yeah.
how do you ask for a
Hold on.
critique and then you feel some type
Yo,
of way about my
if
You'd
review?
be
if
surprised.
if
You'd
someone
be
hit me up,
surprised.
if someone hit me up
It
and
happened
was
to
like,
me.
"Yo, give me your critique
It
about
happened
my
to me.
photo," and I literally not rip it apart, but you know,
Constructively.
constructively
Yeah.
say something.
I'm already
Right?
like
It's like-
visualizing
like
it.
Yeah.
The
Before I
comments.
post, I send it to you guys. It's like, guys, what did I miss here? Look at it. I need second eyes.
Right, but if someone's specifically asking me and like I give you an honest opinion, right, and then you get butthurt because of it,
Yep.
yo, sorry, you gotta go. Like, yo, that's it. Don't ask me again.
Yeah.
Because like, yo, like there's a difference. Like you're asking me for my opinion for a reason,
Mhm.
right? Because they obviously care about what you think.
Mhm.
Yo, but if you can't take it
They
like
need some type of
the right
validation from
way,
you.
then like, yo, don't sit here
Yeah.
and cry about it.
But I've had people that have done that to me at least one point in
I think
my journey.
You know what? I'm a. What's the word I'm looking for? A culprit? No. I need to stop doing this. It's basically like commenting on someone's picture, even though I don't like it or I don't fully like it or I see something wrong with it.
But you're
And
getting
it- and
because of
I'm-
engagement.
One of the reasons, yes, but like
You're also nice.
I feel like I'm showing fake love at times.
Okay,
Okay.
that's a
Instead-
huge
and-
thing too in the community.
But it's like, but then I'll slide in their DM and I'm like, yo, like, do you mind if I critique this for you, or do you mind taking a suggestion?
I'm not doing that for
Oh, I ain't
free.
gonna.
I'm not doing
I've
that
done it.
for
I've
free.
done it to one or two people
You're
where
calling them out.
I'm no, but I've done it to one or two people where I'm comfortable
Okay.
Oh, okay.
comfortable
yeah,
enough with them
yeah,
on that
yeah,
level.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna do it to some random
See,
person. Like I could care less. That's your
You're
picture.
intrigued about the critiquing part. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not.
But you love that world.
I do.
I'm like, no, that's it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
boom, it's out there, it's done.
Dude, you don't want to see me editing.
But see, isn't that
Like,
crazy
my-
though? Like
my
we're all
OCD kicks
photographers.
in,
Yeah.
and it's crazy, bro.
Only because,
I
like,
mean,
adding critiquing is more time
Consumption. yeah.
consumption to be online and going back and forth. It's like, I already spent too much time.
Charge for it.
I don't know. I don't even know, like, what
No,
the
no,
business
what,
would
but,
be
like,
for that. Like, that's.
yo,
It's
sometimes it's just like
Yeah.
it's critique for myself. Like it's
Yeah.
not even like, yo, I spent so much time on this
Yeah.
image. Fine, but like, yo, something looks off. Like
But-
if something looks off,
Yeah.
it's like, yo, I'm missing something. That's
Yeah.
when I send it to you guys. Like I'm missing something.
Yeah.
I know about certain things that I still have to
Yeah.
edit, like clean up, but like I'm missing something. And then like usually one of you guys will just point it out.
Yeah.
Right? That's great. And then like, yo, the color seems off. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that too. Right? That's how people are supposed to go about it. But like you're sitting here like, yo, I'm just gonna post it, right? Which is great because I love that and I used to do that shit all the time. But then like I would even catch it myself, like, yo, should I take it down? to
Oh,
read
the
it?
worst is when it looks good on the computer and you look at it on the phone.
Oh,
and
that's
you
what-
post it on IG.
Nah,
Wait,
I don't
and you
have that
and you
problem.
Are you using
And-
Windows or Apple?
Windows all the way.
That's the problem.
It's
Nah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
that's it,
PC
no.
all day.
There's your problem.
Everyone was born with a PC, so they.
Yo,
it's a
Apple sponsor this.
Traitors.
But no,
They
I
didn't
love.
have the old school Apple computers back in
What
the
you
day.
talking about?
With,
Yes, I
with,
did.
with the blue
Yeah,
and
the
the lime
colors,
green in the
the
back.
colors, yeah.
I had it.
I'm still fresh.
Where the
I can
pictures
tell.
at? Where the pictures at?
Yo, Sony cameras weren't out yet.
But Kodak was.
I don't know, I didn't have
Hey.
Kodak.
Hey,
Started this 10
she
years
knows about
ago.
Kodak. She knows about Kodak.
But honestly, like, there's going to be negative and positives about the Instagram community. I think also it's important that you create your own like inner community in that, right? Because as you guys can see, Simon
That's how we
does,
started off.
weddings and a lot
That's how
of
we
other
started.
things.
Yep.
Yeah,
We were desperate to build our own community after we did
Yeah.
the smoke challenge. So me and Jacqueline kind of like we talked about it and we're like, yo, let's put something on our stories and we'll see what kind of reaction we got out of it, or who's actually wants to be part of a community or building a community. And
because we don't see that on this side,
Yeah,
and
we
there
don't.
might be around, but
and I
we
pointed
didn't
out to
see
her, I'm like,
it.
all right, Texas has their Texas has their people, Florida has
Seattle,
their people,
even.
Seattle,
Seattle getting shot
LA
at.
has their people. It's like, why doesn't Jersey, New York have that type of community,
Mm-hmm.
And like Dope Ports, they do their meetups and stuff like that.
Yo,
but I really don't
Dope
see
Ports
that being.
Guys killed it.
I don't see that being like a community though. That's more like somewhere where you link up
Oh,
for
it's like a
meetups.
meetup, yeah.
Yeah, like just for meetups.
But you know what it is? It's also because Florida, Texas,
All the same
Cali-
warm temperatures.
What's the similarities?
But I feel like that shouldn't be an excuse,
It's
right?
only because everyone on Jersey, New York, and stuff like that, we hibernate.
Yeah, we do.
If you don't have a studio, well, like you shoot weddings every day, but
That's
it's
what
like
I
everything
mean.
slows down, like meetups,
Is it
everything
me or
slows
do you
down.
guys think that like people over here on this side,
Are hard.
you feel like you have to walk over people to get
Yes.
above, and people over there on their side,
They're
they
more chill,
come
relaxed.
together.
But
You
They're
know what it
relaxed.
is? You know what
They're
it is?
relaxed.
You know what it is?
They come together over there.
People don't give a fuck about competition there,
Yeah,
right?
Mm.
We give a fuck about
Yeah.
competition.
but why? Like,
Right.
why is it like
But-
that?
I don't
Like,
know.
we gotta
No,
walk
I don't
over
know.
people to get above.
And that's
No,
when,
but
like,
I don't
going
like that.
back.
That's like going to Miami, right? It's like, yo, I could live here, and Miami residents like, no, you don't. Like the like blah blah, there's crime, blah blah blah. It's like, no, I love it here. It's like, yeah, you're here just for vacation.
Nah, I didn't like Miami.
It's like you see it differently, right? Yeah, like oh Jersey and New York, blah blah. People in Cali, you don't think they have the same conversations? Like, duh, duh, duh.
I'm
I know
sure they
people from
do.
California that want to
wanna
come
move here.
back. And
I'm
like,
sure
why?
they do.
So it's like,
Right.
why?
Right.
But
Why?
I agree with.
It's not the utopia that you think it is,
I'm
but
not
it
saying
is
this
what
is
you
not
make it.
utopia.
'Cause I can make New Jersey tropical.
Why do you think we're trying to do that now, though, right?
That's what
Why
I'm
do you
saying.
think we're trying to create this? Because we
But-
realize no excuses. Not the cold can't
Yeah.
stop us, right? What is the fucking Elsa song? The cold never bothered me anyway.
Now the cold stopped me. I almost didn't make it here.
Listen,
It was a little wind chill.
listen.
I've shot in like
Yeah.
you know like
0 degrees.
Yeah.
single
So did
digit
I.
weather
Yeah.
before.
So did I, and that's why I even made my own little studio, right? Because no excuses, right? We can't
Right.
have the temperature outside be a reason why we're not shooting or learning, right? You need to learn all types, and then you can kind of like flow into your niche if you want, right? So personally, for me, like I said, I started off on composite photography, you know, and then I was like, I want to learn it all, right?
Right.
Because I don't
Yeah.
want no one coming at me telling me, oh, you don't know how to do this. No. I know everything.
Mm-hmm.
I might not be the best, but I know everything.
Every
I've
genre.
touched on everything. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because I've always had that feeling, and I think that comes with being on the East Coast, right? We just have that feel to keep moving, keep doing, right? Whereas on LA, maybe, you know, it's more chill with everything. That's why we wanted to do something like this, because I feel like it's lacking. And I, you know, and I agree, it's very lacking that we don't have community in this area. So that's why, you know, it's important that, you know, we did this, because, yeah.
So on that note, we're about to hit over our time limit. We should wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, thank you for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed everything. We'll definitely be trying to do this, I don't know, maybe once a month, maybe, or some of that. We'll figure out the
Probably
schedule.
even sooner, but
Yeah, maybe tomorrow. But, guys, my name is Anthony.
Next one, guys. Peace.
Peace.